What if your room is making you lazy? You might think that productivity comes down to discipline. You need to work harder, stop procrastinating, and just get yourself to do the things you know you should be doing. But there is something you interact with every day that might be working against you, your environment. As an interior architecture student myself, I've learned that your room isn't just a place where you store your things, it's the place where you sleep, work, relax, exercise, scroll, think, and spend a huge part of your life. And whether you realize this or not, the way your room is designed is constantly giving your brain cues about what to do. So instead of constantly trying to fight your environment with willpower, why not design your room in a way that makes the behaviors you want to have almost feel effortless? Here's a few things you can do. Let's start with something you probably don't think about when designing your room: your body's internal clock. One of the easiest ways to help yourself wake up on time, early, and naturally is to get bright light into your eyes in the morning. Natural morning light helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which is essentially your body's internal clock. It tells your brain that it's daytime and it's time to be awake. So if possible, let natural sunlight come into your bedroom as soon as you wake up. If your room allows it, place your bed so that you're exposed to the morning light from a nearby window. But even if you can't change the position of your bed, simply opening your curtains or blinds as soon as you wake up can help. And then there is the bed itself. Try to keep your bed associated with one thing: sleep. Don't work or scroll or entertain yourself from your bed, because the more activities you associate with one place, the harder it can become for your brain to understand what that place is actually for. If you work in your bed every day, your brain doesn't just see your bed as a place to sleep anymore. It now becomes a workplace, an entertainment zone. It's a place to scroll. And eventually, when you actually want to sleep, your brain still might be expecting stimulation. So make your bed boring and comfortable. You can even put a book or a Kindle on your bedside table so that when you're ready to sleep, reading becomes the obvious alternative to picking up your phone. The goal is really simple. When you get into bed, your brain should exactly know what comes next. And this idea of associating a place with a specific behavior brings us to the next point. Think about the thing you most want to do consistently. Maybe it's studying, maybe it's working on your business, maybe it's just working out or reading at the end of your days. Now ask yourself, does that activity have an actual place in my room? If the answer is no, that's a sign that something has to change. You don't necessarily need a huge room or an expensive setup. You just need one clearly defined area that your brain can start associating with that activity. For studying or working, this could be a desk in the corner of your room with as few distractions as possible directly in front of you. For exercise, it could be a workout mat that stays on the floor instead of being folded away in the closet every day. You could even leave a dumbbell on top of it as just a visual clue. And if you want to read more, you could create a small reading corner with one comfortable chair, a plant, and a dedicated lamp. The important thing is that the space has one clear purpose, because over time, your brain starts naturally learning. This is where I work, this is where I study, this is where I exercise, and this is where I read. And that makes getting started a lot easier. It's the same reason we talked about why you should keep your bed for sleep. You want your environment to give your brain clear instructions. One space doesn't necessarily have to be used for only one thing, especially if you live in a kind of small room. But you should try to give the most important activities a clear visual and physical identity. Because if your desk is also a place where you eat, game, scroll, watch videos, store clothes, and do your homework, it's going to be much harder for that desk to feel like a place of focus. And then there is the other side to this idea. It's not just about making good habits easier, it's also about making bad habits harder. Look around your room and ask yourself, what in this room makes procrastination incredibly easy? Maybe your phone charger is next to your bed, so every morning you wake up and you immediately start scrolling. Maybe your gaming setup is directly in front of your desk, so the second work becomes difficult. The distraction is just right there. Maybe your TV is facing your bed, so getting in bed automatically signals to your brain that it's time to watch something. These things might seem insignificant, but they are constantly creating opportunities for distractions. So instead of entirely relying on willpower, change the environment. Put your phone charger somewhere you have to physically get up to reach. Keep distracting objects out of your immediate field of view. Put your workout equipment somewhere visible. Keep your work materials organized and ready to use. And do not underestimate clutter either. If every surface in your room is covered with random objects, your environment is constantly demanding your attention. You don't need a perfectly minimal room, but you should know what each area is for and where things belong. Think of it this way: make good habits as obvious as possible and make bad habits inconvenient. And once you've designed the space to support the things that you actually want to do, there is one more thing you can do to make those priorities impossible to forget. Most of us have goals that entirely exist in our heads. I want to get in shape. I want to study more. I want to read more books. I want to build something. But then we spend most of the day surrounded by things that have nothing to do with those goals. So why not let your room remind you? You could use a habit tracker, a calendar, a small goal board, a project you're currently working on, books you're trying to finish, or even a small piece of paper with the goals you're currently focusing on. You don't need to cover your entire wall with motivational quotes. The goal is to make the things that actually matter to you visually obvious, because your environment can either constantly remind you of what you want to become or constantly distract you from it. And that's really the bigger idea behind all of this. Your room is not just something you decorate, it's something you can design consciously to influence your behavior. You can design your bedroom so that getting in your bed makes you sleepy. You can design a corner so that sitting down immediately puts you into work mode. You can make exercise equipment visible so you're more likely to use it and get in shape. You can move distractions out of reach. And you can surround yourself with reminders of the person you're trying to become. You don't have to rely on motivation or willpower every single day. Sometimes the easiest way to change your behavior is to change what's around you. So take a look around your room and ask yourself, is this room designed for the person I want to become, or for the person I am trying to stop being? Because if your environment is constantly making the right choice easier, you might find that becoming more productive doesn't require as much discipline as you initially thought. Thank you for watching. If you have any video suggestions, let me know in the comments. I'll see you on the next one.